If you couldn't tell, I was born in a gay body, a very gay body, but I've never been 100% gay. In my head, I've always been straight. And the more I messed around with dudes, I always thought I was a dom top. And that was quickly disproven, especially when I moved here to the South. Because when I went on my first gay date, he kind of expected me to like pin him up against the wall and hold him down. But when he met me, he was immediately like, oh, that's not going to happen. I remember reading his Tinder bio. It was something like, I'm looking for a guy to throw me over my shoulders when I've been naughty or whatever. And I can barely lift a bag of potatoes. So when he met me, he already knew it wasn't going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I went on the gay date anyway, and I tried to act as masculine as possible. I knew it was a turnoff when I told him I liked matcha and I lived in LA. And I swear, every gay man here in the South has at least 10 pounds of muscle on average, more than anywhere else in the US, or maybe some body fat. But anyway, at the end of the day, I put my hand on his thigh. That's like very masculine thing to do. And I kind of like put my hand on his neck and kissed it and gave him a hug. He never spoke to me again. So the second time I met a guy in Georgia, when I met him in Atlanta, the first thing he told me was how skinny I was. And he saw my pictures, but still, it shocked him how skinny and thin I was. And I joked with him like I've been trying to fatten up ever since I've been in Georgia. I go out to eat for lunch every Sunday and I eat like 3 pounds of food. Before we met up to go to the Korean spa, I had Whole Foods and I literally ate like 2 pounds of food. No one understands how much food I eat, but here I am in the gay body. Even though I kind of started being a dom top around him, like for example, I insisted on him being on the bottom. I insisted that, I was behind him and he would lay back against me. It just never felt right because he probably weighed like 20, 30, 40 more pounds than I did, even though he was like 5'8" and I'm like 6'3". It still felt wrong, even though like I'm the taller dude, even though he's like in the more feminine position. It just felt wrong because he's like 30 pounds heavier and I can barely move. You know what I mean? If he lays too long on my arm, it's gonna go numb and fall asleep. It even happened when he was laying on me when I was like on top of his mouth, doing things. Even when I was like holding my hands over his mouth, even when I put him in different positions, even when we were just laying on the sides and I was big spooning him, like it still just didn't feel right. And I know for damn sure for him, there's no way it felt great. You know what I mean? I guarantee it felt like a letdown, which just sucks, dude, because I want to be a dom top so bad. I want to dominate every dude. Like, I just want to be so sexy, have so much money where I can just do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? And have so much muscle where I can just, like, push him around, pin him up against the wall, pin him up wherever I want, make sure he doesn't move. That's hot. And one day I wanna accomplish that for sure. Like the alternative is you could use chains, you could use ropes. One, that's a lot of work. It's not fun. It's not something you do every night. Two, it's just not the same. Even if you do tie them up and they can't do anything, like they're literally helpless, it's still not, it's just not as hot. It just looks wrong. It feels wrong. It's just not the same. It's kind of like eating some stale cereal. It doesn't taste right. And anyway, so I've always wanted to be more dominant in general, just one area of my life. That could be my career. That could be having a really solid tech career that I earn a lot of money in. That could be maybe a lot of muscle, a lot of physicality, a lot of testosterone. It could also be other areas in your life. Maybe you have like a really nice car or you're really talented about something, right? And I've never been able to achieve that kind of domination. And it's not even really about the domination. It's more like just being able to offer something that someone else is never going to have. Or maybe that's not the right way to put it, but it makes me think back about like dating women. And it makes me kind of sad because when you date a woman, the woman always wants stability. They want stability, whether that be career wise, whether that be affection wise. They want stability, right? They don't want to be living on the street. It biologically turns them off, even though it's like psychological, right? Or socio-economical. They don't want to be living on the street. They have the protective mother instincts of Mother Nature. It's like when a deer sees a lion, they run. And that's how it is when you're dating a woman, you know? They're going to run if they sense any kind of instability. I've been dreaming about just getting a nice stable career that I've been working so hard towards. I'm so close. I've applied for 40 jobs today. I applied to 20 to 40 jobs every single day now. I have a portfolio site. I have relevant tech experience. It's just a matter of time. And when I get that job and when I get that career stability, I cannot wait to start dating women. I'm too scared to date women now because I just know I'm going to turn them off. As soon as I tell them I don't have a job, I don't have muscles. It's like you either need a job, you need to have money, you need to have stability, you need to have strong interest, or you just need to have muscles. If it looks like you've been taking steroids, chances are women are going to be all over you, especially if you're fit and you don't look like you just came out of jail. Women are going to be all over you. Anyway, I really want to date a woman just to lose my virginity. I've been really close. There's been a bunch of fat chicks that have been wanting to get with me, but I just can't do it. I'm not that desperate. I'm close to being that desperate, but I'm not that desperate. I know as soon as I get a job, I'm going to have the confidence and the stability to attract definitely an attractive woman that's on my level and it's going to be hot. So, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this like random thought that came across my head, which I've always wanted to be more dominant, and it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. When I went to Palm Springs with this older dude, I was kind of half joking, but it's like, I really want to find someone to like lock them in a cage. I don't know why I found that so hot, but just like having complete control over someone as someone who hasn't had control over their life is very, very hot for me. And I think also the opposite is true. People, especially older gay men, anytime you hit like, I don't know, 35, the amount of bottoms that go from tops to bottoms and bottoms that go to power bottoms increases by like 100%. No doubt. Every dude, when they hit that age, they become a bottom. They want to become a bottom. They want to be a bottom. They want to be cared for. They want to be sexually taken. Um, Someone else take the lead. And I think that's because a lot of them, especially the rich ones that have worked hard, ones that used to be, I mean, they're still probably pretty fit, but ones that were prime, you know what I mean? Like really popular. A lot of them, they've had so much control in their life, they don't want control anymore. They have all this money, they have all these things, they don't want it. They want the feeling of like losing it all. You know what I mean? They want the feeling of not being in control. Because they're a control freak, they're in control all the time, and they want that control taken away from them. So, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.